Hello, welcome to Pen and Paper ASMR. Today I wanted to set up my new weekly spread with you. I have my Scribbles That Matter notebook, and then I picked out 4 pink things this week. I felt in the mood to use some pink. So first I have, and forgive me if this is wrong, I've heard Faber-Castell and I've heard Faber-Castell. Either way, that's the brand, and I have their text liner, and it's a pink color. I have the Stabilo Boss Original Highlighters in a pink color. I have a Jelly Roll Stardust pen, and that is a gel pen, and it's pink with some like metallic glittery pieces in it. Well, I say pieces, it's pretty consistent glitter, but anyway, a pink glitter pen. And then I have my Kuretake Sig Clean Color Dot marker, and so these are what I'm going to use. I don't have a ton of time to make a crazy detailed one today for my weekly spread, but I do need to get that set up. So I'm just going to go to my Pinterest and show you the one I have picked out. So this is my Pinterest board, or I guess my Pinterest account with all my boards. And I have lots of things. I have like a board for each month, headings, doodles, whatever. But I'm going to go to the bullet journal weekly spreads. And some of these are a little more, some of them are a little more detailed. This one is the one I've been using. This idea, I've actually been doing it on both pages, so it was like 2 weeks worth on the one layout, which that's good if you're wanting to conserve some space. But I want a little more room because I have some longer tasks this week. So I liked this idea, but honestly, I don't even need to write in script this week. This might sound, kind of silly since I'm making a video doing it, but I'm not necessarily trying to make it super pretty this week. And so I just liked this idea. It's very simple, pretty straightforward. You have your month with the dates, and then each day of the week has the day, the date in a box, and then the dividers are just like a line of highlighter. So to me, the dark blue at the top will be the text line because that's a darker pink. Each of the little dividers are going to be this lighter pink, and then I'm going to use the Stardust. I'm not sure how yet. That's to be determined. But then around each of the boxes is a little shadow, and so that will be that one as well. The dot marker then is just to actually write in the tasks. So that's what I'm going for. And I'm just going to set this up off camera. I can prop it up so I can reference it. And I already kind of, not obviously I didn't sketch anything, but I measured out what needs to go where. So I'm going to leave the first 2 rows empty for now. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start to write in the days of the week. And just like the example, I'm going to write it in all capital letters. And so I'm going to leave 1, 2 spaces blank. And I'm just going to do Monday. And then I'm going to skip to the next day before adding in the details. And so for these to be evenly spaced, I'm going to be doing 4 days of the week on the left and then 3 days of the week plus the notes at the bottom for this one. So that would be 4 even spaces on each side. So each section is going to have 9 rows. So counting where I just wrote Monday, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so then in this row, we write Tuesday. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. So counting Tuesday's row, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then right here, I'm going to write Wednesday. And one more day of the week on this side. So counting Wednesday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then Thursday goes right here. See, simple enough. And then I'm just going to do the same thing over here, and I could just reference the rows across, but just to eliminate making a mistake doing that, I'm just going to count the same. So I'm going to have 1, 2 empty rows, and then I'm going to write Friday. And counting Friday, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the next row is Saturday. And again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then this is Sunday. And for now, I know I said I was going to put notes. I'm just going to leave that alone because I'm undecided. Might put in like a habit tracker as well, but I will decide on that more towards the end. Okay, so next part, going back to the Pinterest inspiration, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna write in the dates up at the top. It looks like they start a couple in, and so I want to do the same. I'm probably going to start about 2 spaces in, just on the very top line of my journal. Theirs is very close to the top. And the dates for this week, and they just do this in all caps too, so I'll start 2 dots in, 1, 2, so on the 3rd. I'll put July. And today is actually Monday the 15th. I'm behind on my journal, but July 15th through, I know I could probably figure this out on my own, but let me pull up my calendar to make sure I don't write the wrong thing. Okay, so Sunday will be the 21st. Right? Yes. Yes, okay. Ooh, really doubted myself there for a second. Okay. And so, now, really it's a lot easier to go on from here because we're going to go ahead and we're going to start using the highlighters. And so, as you can see, the dark color goes across both pages. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, and by the way, this is the Pentel Energel. It's a 0.5 black gel pen, and it is a needlepoint pen that I'm using. Okay, I'll be honest, these are a little tricky for me. They are, I have my little card here, how I was doing it just to make sure all my colors worked out. But if you don't, it's really easy to accidentally go thinner on these. I think just because of how angled they are. I don't know if you can see that. It kind of dips. So let me practice. Okay, I think I can do that. And then, obviously this will not be perfect because I'm freehanding it. This whole way across. Okay. And then the stabilo. This one's a lot easier to control. It's just not as angled. So now I'm gonna draw, the cap does not like to stay on the backs of these. I'm just gonna draw one highlighter line across for each day. And I'm gonna probably leave about half, this might be silly, but about half a box worth before starting, just because I don't want it to be cramped. So oh, that one started to drift a little. Okay. And then we'll do this side. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. I like how simple it is, if I'm being honest, not much to keep up with. Okay, now, next step, let me show you again what the iPad looks like. It has the number of the day in a box with a little shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Mine aren't going to be as big. I naturally write a lot smaller. And theirs are also quite bold, but I'm just gonna center it, or not center it, I guess, but I'm gonna just make it just a 2x2 box. I think if I do much bigger, it's gonna look really funny with my handwriting. Yeah, a 3x3 I think would look really kind of weird, just especially because I'm using a thin pen. I think I'm gonna try a little smaller, so mine's gonna look a little different than theirs. But so Monday, actually no, I'm a liar. I'm just going to center it kind of under each day. Well, okay, so you're getting to see real time my thought process here. No, I'm gonna stick with what I said. So I'm just going to do 15. And then I'm just gonna freehand the box since it's small. Okay, see, nothing crazy. And 16. so I know from what you can see, you can't probably see the dots. Here, let me see if I can zoom you in at all. Okay, I don't know if you can see the dots or not, but essentially I am writing a 1 and a 6, in this case, around a central dot. So there is a dot between the 1 and the 6. And then I just drew my square within the borders, you could say, of the surrounding dots. So that's kind of my spacing. Let me zoom you back out. Okay, I think that's back to normal. Okay, so 17, I'm going to draw the 1 and the 7, and that dot's in the middle. And I'm keeping my box within the borders. This will help even though they're not going to be exact. These are nowhere near perfect. They're going to be similar. I'm not one to be picky with my bullet journals like this, especially when it's a simple design. Obviously, I'm the only one that's going to use this. It's not like I'm designing it to sell. So if it has a couple little blemishes, that's okay. And ultimately, I found it really only bothers me if there are things that are off until I fill it in. So once I actually start to use the journal for the week, I don't really see the mistakes anymore unless it's like a huge mistake. But I don't really see them anymore just because, I'm not really focused on the design at that point. Hopefully I made the design functional. Hopefully I do like using the journal, but it's not as important anymore when I use it. Okay, now I'm going to do that highlight, or not highlight, opposite of highlight, the shadow around the boxes. And I'm going to go back to the text liner, and I'm actually, instead of doing the thick side and holding my marker this way, I'm going to flip it over so it's like upside down, because that's going to give me a nice thin line. I'm just going to go on the bottom and right sides of each box. See, that one's a little chunkier. Oops. Okay, and I'm starting to see the text liner has absorbed some of the black ink, and so I actually like to keep a card by me anyway. I have one in the back of my journal, but since I already have this one out, I'm just gonna scribble and kind of I just kind of took it a couple different directions to try to clear off any of the black gel ink. So, flip it back over. There we go, that's a lot fresher. Okay, so pretty simple overall. Sorry, off camera I'm just cleaning off that tip one more time. So I think I'm done with that one. But, so as you can see, pretty simple. I do think that if I had made my numbers bigger, the shadow would look a little better, but overall I'm not really that concerned. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and do notes down here, and then what I'll do is I'm going to make a habit tracker underneath the notes section, kind of off to the right, and I'll show you how I do that real quick. So let me just count from Sunday. We were counting 9, so let's see. We have Sunday is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then the next line we have notes. I'm going to use that lighter pink stabilo. I'm not going to do any shadows or anything down there. But then I have about 4 habits. Not gonna lie, they are not super personal, but they're things that I just don't like to share really with other people. But they're typically about 4 or 5 that I do like to track. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a little mini habit tracker down here, and then I will leave the left side open for notes. And I think I'm done with the highlighter, so I'll leave them. The way I do my habit trackers is a little bit different than what I see a lot of people do. Typically I'll see them like, draw a little chart. I normally don't do that just because that's extra drawing. As you can see, I'm not the best at straight lines. If I have more time, I will do that, but in this case, I'm just going to do my typical thing. And luckily, this journal does give you the little dashes to know where your middle is. And so the way I do it is basically I write the habit, and then I write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through Sunday, just like the letter of the day of the week, and then I can either cross it off or leave it uncrossed. So I'll show you an example. The one thing that I do want to do every day is read my Bible, and so what I will do is I'll find the halfway point, probably go in one line. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll start it right here underneath. So I'll do read Bible. And this is typically when I like to use a fancy pen. And then I just go in by one space. Oops, I feel like I'm... Okay, we're good. Felt like it was getting a little dry there for a second. I think it was. The W is not as vibrant. Okay. And so that's how I make my habit tracker, and then I just keep going. So I'll put next habit with the black pen, and then the letters, and then I literally just cross them off as I go. And before I finish the video and start to fill in all my stuff, I'll just show you how I use the dot markers, and I'll show this a little more close up here in a second. But so like today is Monday, and I have some tasks that I wanted to do, and I'm one of those people that will go back and write things down that I already did, just because I like to know that I accomplished it. So for this design, I'm not going to use the spaces underneath the numbers. I think it will look nice having some empty space. I'm just going to go beside the numbers, and I'm going to dot some circles in. And then I also know I have a couple things that I have to do tomorrow. And then I just like to dot about 3 per day. That way they're already there. Okay. You might not be able to see this pink on here. Oops. But it is there. It's just light, and that's part of why I like those markers. So up close, hopefully it will focus in for us. So we have our week, and then each day has its boxes, and if you can see right here are my dots. So, and then let's see, I might need to move this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We have our habit tracker, and like I said, I'm going to fill in a couple more that are more personal, but just have the habit and then the days of the week. Simple and easy to track, because I just have to either cross it or not cross off that I did it. So I hope that you enjoyed this setup. Obviously, like I said, it's not perfect, but it is super functional for this week. Gives me lots of writing space. You could, if you wanted, condense this into one page. You could kind of get rid of the box and that detail, and you could split it so it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then a little note section. Maybe you don't have, as busy of a week, or the things that you do are like really short, simple tasks. But for, like I said, this week I have a couple of long tasks with a couple extra details that I'd like to fill in. And then I do always like to give myself a note section, because that way if something comes up, maybe I don't need to designate a whole note page to it, but I can see all my notes from the week at a glance if any do come up. So maybe this inspired you to go ahead and do something simple. If you bullet journal, this is an example of how it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't require doodles, it doesn't require washi tape, it doesn't require stickers. It just, it doesn't even require what I did. I just like to add some color. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Maybe you even gained something from it. If you have any comments or would like to say hello, I would love to read them and talk to you there. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!